34-14 through 48 games. What a baseball team. Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in. Midday Show, Hugh Douglas, Joe Giglio, Kyle Quinn behind the glass. You guys with us, 215-592-9494. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Philly. Caviar is not good. It's not. And I know that there might be some people out there that eat caviar on a regular and be like, well, you know what, Hugh, caviar is not, it's a discerning palate. You need caviar is not good.
I like the uppity voice. The Hugh
No,
Douglas.
but it is. Because I know I've probably made some people mad by saying that, and their retort is probably going to be, well, your palate doesn't appreciate it. Well, it doesn't, and it's not good.
So, okay, I've never actually tried caviar. So a lot of people would tell you it's good. You would say it's not. Here's what I know is good, Hugh. This Phillies team.
Yes.
It's actually not good. They're great right now. 34-14. Some might say the caviar of baseball if you're into that kind of thing. I don't know. I've never tried it. But they're 34-14. They swept this series. I'm running out of things to say about how great this team has become. 34-14. They are the best team in baseball. They're off to a start that has only happened, a very select few times in the history of Major League Baseball. In the National League, 16 teams since 1954 have done this, win this many times in their first 48 games. They're just the fifth National League team in the last 38 years to start 34-14. The last one, the 2016 Cubs, that finally broke the curse and won a World Series. Hugh, this team does it all. They pitched. They had clutch moments over the weekend. The Cody Clemens moment on Saturday night.
Oh, man.
And then yesterday, they just bludgeoned the Nationals.
Bludgeoned them. That's 11. 11.
They are just
11 runs.
Lining up these teams and crushing them, Hugh.
Yeah, and as they're supposed to do. And I know that there are going to be some out there that say, oh, they're not playing good teams. If they're bad, beat them because they're bad. They pick up their checks every Monday, Tuesday, whenever the Phillies pick up their checks, the people that they play pick up their checks the same way. When you look around the division of the National League, it ain't a whole lot of great teams in the National League. So, hey, you can't control any of that. Just go out there and do your job. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Well, and they are, and they've done it now for the past 2 months. So when we woke up on the third day of the season, right, the Braves came in here. I was there opening day. It was Strider, who obviously is hurt now, and it was Zach Wheeler, and it was a pitcher's duel, and then the game got away from the Phillies with a bullpen. And they lose the next day. When we woke up on that Sunday, that first weekend of the year, the Braves are 2-0, and the Phillies are 0-2, and it's like, here we go again. The Braves are going to win the division again. Since that day, the Phillies are now 34-12 with a plus 94 run differential. The Braves are 24-16. Guys, we wake up today, the Phillies are 5 games up. 5 games up in the National League East. Hugh, you mentioned look about this division. We know the Mets aren't very good this year. We know the Nationals are a couple years away from being really good, if they're ever going to get there again. And we know the Marlins are terrible. It's Phillies and Braves. And I look up this morning, and the Phillies are 5 games up. And I'm ready to say it. The Phillies are going to win the division. The Phillies are going to win the NL East. We had this conversation in the spring. It's like, could they? Might they? Do we really want them to? Does it matter? They're going to win the division. They're better than the Braves this year. Okay, they have better pitching. They have had a better start to the season. And I think over the last 8 weeks, it's not even close. In the last 8 weeks, 34-12 for the Phillies, plus 94 runs. 24-16 for the Braves, plus 24. Hugh, I recognize the date. I recognize what the Braves have done, and I'm not saying it's not going to be a race. I just believe today the Phillies are going to win the NL East. In fact, before you say your piece, I'm going to lock this up. Lock it.
Can I?
A lock.
Can I give you an analogy?
This division is the Phillies.
Can I give you an analogy
that
my sister told me a while ago, like years ago, back when I was a young man? She said to me that a woman knows when she meets a man whether or not she wants to date him. It's up to him to mess it up. Like, you could say something dumb, boneheadish, and you can mess that whole thing up. This is the same situation that the Phillies are in my opinion. Like, we all know what we see, and I guarantee you that the players feel confident about what they're doing, because you're talking about a weekend of games where you snatch a defeat from the jaw. Wait a minute, I'm gonna say it. You snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Yes. I was about to screw it up. Thanks for getting me right.
That was Saturday.
Right. Yeah, and you've had games where you haven't played your best, but you still found ways to win. Now I hear what you're saying, Joe, but it's a little bit premature. And the reason I'm gonna say this, the reason why it's premature. Stay focused. That's the biggest thing. You have to stay focused. You have to maintain your composure, because there are two teams out there that the Braves are still in a situation where Ronald Acuna hasn't hit his stride yet. They were one of those teams that they were hitting throughout the lineup last year. I know nobody's worried about that, and you're just worried about this team, and it's nothing too much I can tell you to bring you down off your high horse. But I will say this. Remember that one Mets team that was up north that had like a 10-game lead one time, and it whittled away?
2 years ago in June, they were up 10 on the Braves.
So that's why you have to maintain composure, and you have to stay focused. Now, I love everything that this team is doing, and it's on Topper to make sure that this team keeps its composure and maintains its focus. But I feel as a fan, Joe, you can feel that way. But it's still kind of early, and just keep that in mind.
So I recognize it's early. 215-592-9494. And that's okay. I can't deny what I'm seeing. This is a special year.
It's a beautiful thing.
Once in a while, it's a special year. Like, it all kind of clicks in. And when you have think about what they've gotten out of Edmundo Sosa, Cody Clemens, and Spencer Turnbull.
Cody Clemens is the one for me.
Man.
He's the one for me because it's like what this young man has contributed and his ability to be available at damn near anywhere you put him. I mean, that's huge, Joe. I mean, that's huge. And the fact that you're willing to put in the work wherever they put you. And when you've lightweight become a clutch man, the clutch player. Like you're clutch.
I know.
You're Mr. Fix-It in a jam. So yeah, what he's been able to do, man. This team looks like they're poised to do some great things.
They look special. 215-592-9494. And there's a drive to this team. I remember we talked about it in February when they got to spring training and all they talked about was winning the World Series. And that drive through spring training. And you're seeing it day to day now. I don't think this is going to stop. They're on pace for 115 wins. Are they going to get there? Probably not. But this is a team that's going to win 100 baseball games. They're going to win the NL East. And I just think they're in a different headspace than the Braves. The Braves seem like, after all these years of all this greatness of the regular season, I don't think they're all in for this regular season. They're going to go to the playoffs, too, probably as a wild card. But listen to Aaron Nola. He was on the air Friday, and this is the team. This is the 2024 Phillies. Aaron Nola on Friday with the Morning Team talking about this team and how they go about their business.
Aaron, does it feel like this team has gotten better at refusing to lose by losing in the postseason the last 2 years?
I think so, yes.
I hope so. That's the way it looks to us.
Yeah, it does look that way.
I think, and then in 22, we all made the postseason, and we all had that experience. And then coming into this year, we all had the experience, and we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to win in the playoffs. We know what it feels like to lose in the playoffs. So we all feel that. So there's nobody new that hasn't ever made the playoffs. So we know what the feel is and the experience is. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we took into this year.
Aaron Nola on Friday with the Morning Crew. 215-592-9494. All right, before we get Kyle taking this, I know he doesn't love history, but sometimes when there's a good history note, I gotta throw it in here. All right,
what
how
you
about
got?
this? All right, well, I think you'll like this one. Since 1954, 16 National League teams have had a start like the Phillies. Okay, 16 of them. Every single one of those teams won their division. Every single time a team has started like this in the last 70 years in the National League, they've won their division. I'm not saying it's when you say the word over, that means there's no race. Now, there's going to be a race all summer. The Braves aren't going to die here. But I'm in my mind, this is a lock. They're going to win the NL East. They're the best team. My eyes are telling me it. It's told me it from the beginning of the season. This pitching is real. And the offense, despite the outfield not giving them much, has scored a ton. I mean, they're making your 6-run per game prediction, Hugh, enough that we're going to follow this thing all summer. Got the whole Twitter account following you every day.
I like it. I like that part.
It's unbelievable.
But like I said, it's the same thing like trying to date. She knows whether or not she want to talk to you, but you just gotta you could screw it up. Don't screw it up, Joe. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's not. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything.
Well, I'm
just
saying. You have to maintain your focus, and you can't be out there hot dogging and feeling like you've arrived. Because to your point, there's a lot of baseball left to be played.
Well, I can hot dog, and I feel like the Phillies have arrived. 215-592-9494. Do you consider the Phillies a lock to win this division?